Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into a really profound chapter from the book of Matthew. We're going to see what it can teach us about those incredible moments of glory on the mountaintop and how to handle the very real challenges we all face down in the valley.
So, this chapter kicks off on a high mountain. You know, in the scriptures, mountains are often where big divine encounters happen. And here, a few of Jesus' closest disciples get to witness something truly extraordinary, a moment where that veil between heaven and earth is just pulled right back. So, picture this. Jesus takes his inner circle, Peter, James, and John, and leads them up this high mountain. He's intentionally getting them away from the noise and the crowds below, preparing them for a special revelation, a glimpse of glory that was meant just for them.
Now, we're not talking about just a slight change here. The word is transfigured, a complete, stunning transformation. Jesus' physical appearance is just dramatically altered. His face is shining like the sun. This was a glimpse of his true divine nature that his disciples had never, ever seen before.
And then, as if that wasn't mind-blowing enough, two of the most important figures from the entire Old Testament just appear and start talking with him. You've got Moses, the great lawgiver, and Elijah, the great prophet. Their presence sends a powerful message. Jesus is the fulfillment of everything the law and the prophets had been pointing to for centuries. So while Peter is still trying to process this incredible sight, suggesting they build shelters, this bright cloud, the symbol of God's very presence, just envelops them. And out of that cloud, a voice gives a direct command that cuts through all the awe and all the confusion. You see, the ultimate point of this glorious, overwhelming vision wasn't just to put on a show. It was all about affirming Jesus' supreme authority. The voice from heaven, God the Father, makes it crystal clear. Moses was great, Elijah was great, but Jesus is the one you must listen to now. His word is final.
Okay, so as they're coming down from this absolutely incredible mountaintop experience, the disciples' minds are just buzzing with questions. They're trying to connect what they just saw, especially seeing Elijah, with everything they've ever been taught. And they ask this crucial question, one that's based on the common religious teaching of their day. See, they'd always been taught to expect the prophet Elijah to return and prepare the way for the Messiah. Well, they just saw Elijah, so what does it all mean? And Jesus confirms it. He says, yep, the teachers of the law were right about the prophecy. But then he drops a bombshell. Its fulfillment wasn't what they expected. He explains that Elijah had already come in the person of John the Baptist. But tragically, most people just completely failed to recognize him.
And this is where it gets really heavy. Jesus directly links John the Baptist's fate to his own. He makes this chilling prediction. Just as the forerunner, John, was rejected and killed, he, the Son of Man, will also suffer that same fate. It's a difficult truth. For Jesus, the path to glory had to go through suffering first.
And just like that, talk about whiplash. The scene shifts dramatically. They descend from the quiet glory and divine revelation of the mountain right back into the chaos and desperation of the crowd below. Welcome to the valley. The moment they arrive, a desperate father runs up to Jesus. He explains that while Jesus was up on the mountain, he brought his demon-possessed son to the other 9 disciples, but they were completely powerless to help him.
This is such a key question. I mean, Jesus had given these same disciples authority over demons before. They had successfully healed people and performed exorcisms. So what was different this time? Why did they fail so publicly?
So after Jesus heals the boy himself, he turns to his disciples, and he points not to a total lack of faith, but to their little faith. It seems their confidence was shaken by just how severe the situation was, and maybe by the skeptical, unbelieving attitude of the crowd around them. Their faith was there, but it was just too small for the challenge in front of them.
And this illustrates such a powerful principle. Jesus isn't asking for some massive, heroic faith. He says that even faith as small as a mustard seed, one of the tiniest seeds out there, has unlimited potential. Why? Because the power isn't in the size of our faith, it's in the immense power of the one we place it in. All right, so the narrative shifts again. We've gone from a massive, supernatural crisis to a very practical, everyday problem that I think we can all relate to: paying taxes.
Back in their home base of Capernaum, some tax collectors approach Peter. They ask if his teacher, Jesus, pays the annual temple tax. Now, for most Jews, this wasn't like a dreaded Roman tax. It was a matter of religious duty, even patriotic pride, to support the temple.
Jesus pulls Peter aside and uses this simple, logical analogy. He asks, do earthly kings tax their own children, or do they tax other people? And of course, the answer is obvious. They tax others. The point? Well, if the temple is his Father's house, then as the Son of God, Jesus is logically exempt from paying the tax.
But, and this is so important, even though he has every right to be exempt, Jesus chooses to comply. Why? To avoid causing some needless conflict or misunderstanding that might get in the way of his much more important mission.
And he doesn't just decide to pay it. The way he provides the money is just remarkable. In this incredible display of divine provision, he tells Peter exactly where to find a coin inside the mouth of the very first fish he catches, and it will be the precise amount needed to pay the tax for both of them. Amazing.
So, after this incredible journey from the Transfiguration on the mountaintop to the challenges of faith and taxes down in the valley, what are the key things we can really take away from this chapter?
Well, we see that Jesus' authority is absolute, confirmed by God himself. We learn that even a little bit of faith, when it's pointed at a great God, can accomplish the impossible. And we're shown that divine wisdom isn't just for huge spiritual crises, it's also for navigating practical, everyday problems with grace. You see, these aren't just ancient stories. They are powerful principles for our own lives.
And that really brings us to the final question, the one for all of us to think about. Is it the need to listen to Jesus' ultimate authority? The challenge to exercise even a little bit of faith in a tough situation? Or maybe the wisdom to navigate a practical problem without causing a needless fight? Whichever it is, the lessons from Matthew 17 are just as relevant for us today as they were then.